Shalom, shalom. HALALYAM, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great MILLSTONE, the teacher of well. Peace and salutations be told for the elect. I'm Brother Tazman Gubar coming at you with another lesson. It's going to be a quick hit. On this Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So the Lord says, blessed be he that readeth, man. Because it says, at the bottom, it says, for the time is at hand. So you reading is like you spiritually preparing yourself, man. You're preparing yourself, for what's to come. And if you're preparing yourself for what's to come, that means you're trying to get on that chariot, man. You're trying to get salvation. And you're looking at what it takes. You're looking for what it takes and what you need to do to get salvation, and that's a good thing. Not only that, while out there doing the work of the Lord, you got to make yourself knowledgeable, man. If you ain't knowledgeable on these things, how are you going to actually go out there and preach the word of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, if you have no knowledge? And you can get knowledge from reading what? These scriptures. You begin to learn the things of old, how the ways were kept. You begin to learn about the laws and what the laws were. What does it mean to break the laws? All these things you need to know before you can go out there teaching, man. And more. There's many more things that you need to know. And it's in this book. The reason so many people are delusional and confused is because they fail to read. They're simple because they fail to read. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto YAHAWASHI. If you ain't reading, you can easily be deceived. Somebody else come along and say, oh, I've read that. This is saying this, that's saying that. And your ass using that, going with that for the rest of your life, but you haven't read it yourself. It happens all the time in these so-called Christian churches. They read the same scripture every week, and Israel folds all over again every week to that same scripture. John 3 and 16. That's their favorite scripture. That's all they really got, man. And then you go against these learned Christians, so-called Christians, which is usually Edomites. It's not really Jake. It's Jake. Jake be listening to the slave Bible in the churches, man. In these so-called churches, they don't really hear the true words of the Lord YAHAWASHI in these churches. They hear the slave Bible, which is the scriptures that are according to this devil's agenda. They use the scriptures and twist them for their own way and their own benefit. Study to show thyself approved unto YAHAWASHI, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So you ain't gonna be ashamed out there if you study to know what you do know, because you're rightly dividing the word of truth, is you a workman that needed not to be ashamed. You're going to be doing what is right. You're going to be saying the right things. You're going to be preaching the right doctrine, which is very important. Because if you're preaching anything other than the true doctrine, you're in trouble. The Lord is going to have it out for you, man. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and her spirit it hath gathered them. Nothing in this book gonna fail. None of these prophecies are going to fail. Everything is going to come to pass, man. Scripture talks about the Lord performing the intentions of his heart. And the intentions of his heart are written in the scriptures, So that's why you got to stay up on your reading. Read as much as you can and continue, because the more you read, the more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding you obtain. And even if you read something over again, you go back and reread, you're going to get a better understanding of what you read than the first time you read it, man. Because the Lord reveals things to you with time. Even if you're just reading and you know you don't understand them, it's you're putting it inside of your mind. You know, you don't have to understand what you're putting it. You're feeding it to your mind, even though you don't understand it. And then later on, when you do gain more understanding, that scripture gonna pop up, and it's like the Lord reminds you. Remember, you didn't understand this. This is what it means. You know, something happens in your life or a situation. You get into a certain situation where you get understanding of the scripture. It happens all the time, man. It happens all the time. So don't be afraid to read. Don't be shy to read. Pick up the book and begin reading these scriptures, man, because that's where wisdom dwells, man. You want wisdom, you got to seek it out first. You can't just expect wisdom to fall into your lap. You got to go seek her first, man. You know? You want a bad woman, you got to go find her first. You got to go seek her out first. You got to go to her and invite her to be with you, man. It's the same thing with wisdom. Wisdom is Sophia. Sophia is a bad woman. You know, like a beautiful woman, not like bad as in bad, but like bad as in beautiful. Sophia is a beautiful woman, which is wisdom. And you want that woman, you're going to have to, do what it takes to get that woman. It's not going to be easy either. Scripture talks about how wisdom brings you to the, it tries your soul until you're accepted of her, And that means what? You got to be able to hold on to that wisdom tightly. After all the things you may find out, Scripture talks about how when wisdom increases, so does sorrow. Because the more you know, the more it's like, damn, the more it weighs down on you. But that knowledge can get you saved. Like in the book of Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6, it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, YAHAWASHI, is his treasure." So if you've been reading up, you keep reading up on these scriptures, and then the time we come into those times and shit breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. You're going to be more confident in your mind, more stable, because you read, You were reading. So you understand the things that are supposed to come, things that are going to take. But with that, I truly hope this quick it was edifying to you, Akim and Akwath. Listen in truth and sincerity. Until next time, I want to give all glory, honor, praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.